Well, welcome to the 700 Club. After another lengthy court hearing Monday, American pastor Andrew Brunson remains in a Turkish prison. His defenders say Brunson is guilty of only one thing: preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Now members of Congress and the world community are taking action on the pastor's behalf. Abigail Robertson talks with key ally fighting for his freedom.
Senator Thom Tillis is sending a strong message to Turkey. Release Pastor Andrew Brunson and send him home, or prepare for the consequences.
Right now we're moving to another phase in this saga, which includes the very clear and sad reality that we may have to take actions that could hurt a relationship that I wish we were building on.
Tillis traveled to Turkey twice this year to visit Brunson in prison and attend his first court hearing. He says from what he saw, the pastor's only crime is serving Turkey for 20 years as a Christian missionary.
It's unlike anything I've ever seen in a U.S. courtroom. The way that they just conduct themselves, the flimsy circumstantial evidence, that he could keep his composure when you heard some of the things that they're using to convict this man to 35 years in prison, basically a death sentence, was remarkable.
66 senators joined Tillis in sending a letter to Turkey's President Erdogan, telling him the U.S. is prepared to act if the Turks refuse to release him. Now, other world leaders are joining the fight. 50 European Parliament members have demanded his release, and in a rare move, a UN group on arbitrary detention agreed to take up Brunson's case.
The United States has been very forceful in demanding his release, and now we literally have the world coming to our aid and demanding Pastor Brunson's release as well.
Meanwhile, U.S. lawmakers are moving forward with sanctions against Turkey. Brunson is just one of many Americans currently imprisoned in the country, including a NASA scientist and consulate workers.
This is a serious problem, and Pastor Brunson is really the tip of the iceberg.
Tillis says he's ready for a marathon and will keep fighting until Pastor Brunson's release. Reporting from Capitol Hill, Abigail Robertson, CBN News.
Well, these charges have no substance to them at all. He's being charged with being part of a terrorist group. He's been charged with trying to create a Kurdish state within Turkey. All of it is absolute nonsense. It's a hostage situation. And President Erdogan has already announced that. He's already said that I'll trade Pastor Brunson for a Turkish cleric who lives in Pennsylvania. There was part of a political movement. It's called the Gulen Movement, named after him. And our government is saying, no, this isn't some terrorist group. He's a political rival. They used to be friends. They used to be allies. And then in 2013, all of that changed, and the attempted coup and all of these things. And it's just a hostage situation. We need to treat it that way. But we also need to be praying for Pastor Brunson, that he would be released, that he would be comforted in his affliction, comforted in jail. All the verses about Paul asking for prayer in his imprisonment, they will all apply to him. Let's be in prayer for him. Well, in other news, President Trump is set to announce his decision on the Iran nuclear deal. Efrem Graham has that story and more from the CBN Newsroom.
Gordon, President Trump tweeted Monday he'll announce his decision at 2 p.m. today. The president has indicated he is ready to pull out of the deal negotiated by the Obama administration. European leaders are pressuring the president not to scrap the deal. But Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says pulling out is the right thing to do. Last week, he presented thousands of documents he said showed Iran pursued a nuclear weapon. CBN's Faith Nation will have special coverage of the president's announcement. Be sure to log on to cbnnews.com at 1:55 to watch that. President Trump will not be attending the opening of the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem next week. Neither will Vice President Mike Pence. Instead, Deputy Secretary of State John Sullivan will lead the presidential delegation that includes Ambassador David Friedman, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, and White House aides Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump. Meanwhile, in Jerusalem, signs of the embassy's coming are arriving, which means final preparations are underway. The 700 Club will have more on that activity later this week, as well as coverage of the grand opening on May 14th. Gordon?
Well, it's going to be a wonderful day, and from my point of view, it's high time. It's been 50 years. Israel is the only sovereign state in the world where the world does not recognize its capital. Israel has designated Jerusalem as its capital, and it's about time the United States said, okay, we'll move our embassy there. The Congress wanted this back in 1996. They passed the Embassy Act to move the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, and Trump said, okay, let's do it. If that's what Congress wants, let's do it, and it's going to be a great day of celebration. We've got something for you. If you want to know more about Israeli life, far beyond the headlines you see, far beyond the news reports, we want to show you how this tiny nation, just the size of New Jersey, is doing humanitarian work around the world. They've done work in over 140 countries. I find that absolutely amazing. Here they are with a steady drumbeat of international criticism, steady drumbeat of condemnation from the UN, and they're saying, we still want to love other people. We still want to be a light to the nations. So the movie is called To Life, How Israeli Volunteers Are Changing the World. It will inspire you. Their courageous story of going to disaster areas, to reach out to Syrian refugees, to reach out to Palestinians with free surgery, to reach out to the Yazidi people in Iraq who've had terrible persecution from ISIS, to reach out to Uganda, to Africa. It's all there in this wonderful movie. It's yours for a gift of $10 or more. So if you'd like it, call us 1-800-700-7000.